3, 2, 1. All right, hello. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Deportation Defense Live. Welcome to our show. It is Tuesday, the 6th of September. It's the day after Labor Day, everybody. And so I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to another episode of the Deportation Defense Live. Welcome to everyone on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding immigration attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. I'm grateful for each of you for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. Today, it's another episode of Deportation Defense Live. We're talking about common problems in asylum. Common problems in asylum cases. And so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, Deportation Defense Live is here every week to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants who are facing deportation to make the most out of immigration laws, to make the most out of their lives, and to win their cases. Are you facing removal in immigration court? Do you know someone who's facing removal in immigration court? Because if so, you know that it's not easy. It is an uphill battle. The laws are against us. And we're here to maximize your chances of winning that case. All right? My firm is on a mission to win 10,000 cases by 2035. We'd love to help you with that. Today at Deportation Defense Live, our theme is common problems in asylum cases. Thank you to those who asked your questions. I'll take questions live as we do this. We've got 30 minutes to discuss this topic in English, and then we'll jump in and do this episode in Spanish. If you have a question you want me to answer live, send it over. Not a problem. Okay? So that's what we are here to do. As always, I like to start us out with an empowerment tip. Okay? So, my empowerment tip is a simple one today. Yesterday was Labor Day, and yesterday I was in the Pacific Northwest. I woke up at 5 in the morning, and I swam 1 mile across the largest river in the Pacific Northwest, all right, the Columbia River, which is a river that is made from melting ice from glaciers from Canada and from Washington State, the Cascade Mountains. It is a cold river, and the swim was cold, and it was tough, and it was a challenge, and I did it with my dad, which made it extra fun for me. And so my tip for you this morning is challenge yourself. All right? Don't just do what's easy, what's comfortable. Do what's hard. Do what is challenging. Sometimes it's the best memories. It's the most fun. It's the best shared experiences that come from putting yourself, putting your body, putting your mind, putting your soul out there and going for what is not easy. Challenge yourself. Do it. Let us know what you do. We'd love to hear from you. I hope that was useful. Hope that was interesting. Hope you take it on. All right? Do something wild and crazy. Put your body through something you may have never tried before. I really promise it'll make a memory. Okay? So great. So that was my empowerment tip today. Thanks for doing that. And thanks for listening to it. And let me know what you decide to do. So now I want to talk about asylum. All right? And remember, I like to point out the basics. So the basics. What is asylum? Well, asylum means protection. And it is a legal protection against deportation. And to win asylum, you have to show that you have a well-founded fear, that you have a fear for your life, right? that your life's in danger. And that it's not just that that you feel your life's in danger, but it's well-founded. There's an objective, like there's something going on in your country that you have a legitimate fear of persecution, and it's got to be on account of one of 5 things. It's got to be on account of your race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or your membership in a particular social group. That's what asylum law is limited to. All right, it's not that you're afraid of persecution for any reason. It's got to be one of those 5 reasons, and that's it. Okay? When you apply for asylum, another part of the basics, when you apply for asylum, you're also applying for a law which we call withholding of removal, and you're also applying, often at least, this is an optional box on your form, but you're applying for relief under the United Nations Convention Against Torture. All right? So there's international law that comes into play here. Now, asylum, when you're in front of a judge, you file the paperwork. You submit the evidence that you have. You present your testimony to the judge. The judge is going to make a decision. Okay? And so if the judge agrees with your case, you will win asylum or withholding of removal or relief under the Convention Against Torture, and you'll be allowed to stay. You will win your legal protection in the United States. You'll win work authorization as well, and if it's asylum, also the ability to apply for a green card in the future. But if a judge disagrees, you'll be ordered deported. And that is the way it works, which is why in asylum cases the stakes are high. You want to maximize your chances of success. And also, did you know, throughout the country, the vast majority of cases are denied. It's over 70%. Everybody's closer to 73% of asylum cases get denied. And so you got to know that, and it's not easy to win asylum. And so we want to talk about the most common challenges, the most common problems that I see with the way asylum cases are presented. And so we'll get into that, okay? So I'll jump right in. And I see some people are asking questions. I really appreciate that. Send me your questions. So, common problem number one with asylum cases is there's not enough evidence submitted in the case explaining why you would be targeted or why you were targeted in the past. Excuse me. Now, many people submit lots of evidence, even in their written declaration where they're writing their whole story, saying that they were targeted or that they would be targeted if they went back to their home country. But they often fail to explain why that is. All right? Asylum law requires people to show why. And it's not just any why. All right? We've got to show that the reason that the bad guys are going to harm you is on account of your race, your religion, your nationality, your political opinion, or your membership in a particular social group. Asylum law, remember this, right? Asylum law was based in and was created right after World War II. So imagine you are a person of Jewish nationality and you're in a Nazi concentration camp and you flee, you get away and you flee to the next country and you request asylum. All right? You've got to show that your life, the whole legal background of the asylum laws are, okay, if a person is fleeing Nazi Germany to another country and they're, if they go back, they're going to be in a concentration camp, they're going to experience torture, death, genocide, right? And so how do we protect legally a person in that situation from getting deported, even if they violated some immigration law? They can enter a country and they can request asylum. All right? Asylum laws did not exist before 1951, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Refugee. All right? And so that's the basis for asylum law. So there it's like, okay, fast forward to today. Well, you're fleeing your country. How do we show, demonstrate, argue, try to convince a judge that your situation is similar to that situation? All right? That your situation is that you would also face persecution, torture, violence, harm, uh, infliction of your own human rights, death, if you return to your country because of your race, your religion, your nationality, your political opinion is recognized also, or your membership in a particular social group, some kind of group that you can't, you cannot or you should not be required to change it, right? Your sexual orientation or the way you are, you have an identity that you cannot change, and you're going to be targeted because of that identity. All right? You've got to show that the reason that the bad guys are going to harm you is one of those things, and you got to submit evidence of it. And that should be in your declaration, and it should be in the other evidence articles and stuff that you're submitting from your country. All right? Because if you don't show that, then the judge will deny your case. Okay? And often that's like the number one benefit of working with a good asylum lawyer, because asylum lawyers who do this all the time, we know how to showcase your situation when possible so that it fits within the kind of 5 reasons that are recognized by the law. That's what we do. It's what we're trained to do. All right, so that's common problem number 1. Common problem number 2 is that there are inconsistencies presented in the evidence in your case. You don't want that. Okay? When you're filing for asylum, an immigration judge will deny a case if there are inconsistencies that undermine your credibility, or you want to maintain your credibility. All right? So if your declaration says, this is a silly example, but you got to understand, right? If your declaration says that you were targeted by gangs on Tuesday, but your testimony in court says that it all happened on Thursday, that's an inconsistency. It's a minor inconsistency, arguably, but it's like that could cause a judge to, it could undermine your credibility. It's like, wait a second, are you telling the truth now in court? Or were you telling the truth on your declaration, which, if it was done correctly, was signed under the penalty of perjury, and which you theoretically went through word for word before it was submitted to the court? And so you want to be careful. All right? Sometimes when there are those inconsistencies, you might need to explain how that inconsistency happened. But you got to be careful, because the court could think maybe you were lying on one of those statements, and you do not want that, right? If your credibility gets undermined on an asylum case, then the judge has to deny your case. All right? So you want to be careful. You want to be careful in how you present your evidence in your case. Don't present a case with inconsistencies in the record. You got to clean those up if they're there. Okay? Like, really go through every detail, hopefully with a lawyer who knows how to present a case well, and they can help you out. All right, now we're moving on. We're doing great, everybody. We're moving on to common problem number 3. First of all, common problem number 3, before we get to it, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome, and thank you for being here with me. My name's Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. I see folks here on Instagram. I see folks on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you and welcome. All right. So really, thank you all so much for being here. Happy Tuesday. Shout out to some folks on Instagram just for fun. Suleiman, hello. And Kuram, hello. And El Pollo Jalisco, hello. And Victor Agape and By Flor de la Costa, hello. Love you guys. Thanks for being with me here on Instagram. Everybody else, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, hello. Thank you for being here. All right. Send your questions in if you've got it. Godchild, I see your question. Letitia, I see your question. Hey, keep sending them over. I love it. Thanks. So common problem number 3 in asylum cases. You ready for it? All right. Common problem number 3 is not enough preparation for your individual hearing. Okay, if you're not preparing enough, if you're not 100% clear on what questions your lawyer is going to ask you in the individual hearing, then you're not prepared enough. Okay? And so you want to be aware of that, right? In an asylum case, you will be given an individual hearing, which is our version of going to trial. Okay? These hearings are often 4 hours long, and you will be asked questions. All right? Sometimes they can take multiple days of hearings. I've had cases where it's 3 days of testimony, and it's trial. You want to be sure, you want to make sure that you and your lawyer are as prepared as possible. Do a complete run-through. Do a complete practice run, sometimes 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 times with your lawyer to go over each issue. Make sure you and your lawyer understand the facts and the law completely and are on the same page. Okay? You want to minimize surprises. You want to go into that courtroom confident. Okay? You want to be confident that you will present your case accurately and to the best of your ability. We can never guarantee that a judge will agree with our arguments, but if at least we're on the same page about what our arguments are and what our best evidence is, and if there's evidence that maybe goes against us, how do we explain it so that we're explaining it in the best light possible? It's like we want to work through all of this to help you win your case. So that's common problem number 3. Prepare for your individual hearing. Okay? Common problem number 4, sometimes we see it where there's just not enough strategy. All right? Where there's not enough strategy regarding evidence. What evidence could we include in your case? Some lawyers, I don't know, they're not being creative. You don't want to work with a lawyer who's just treating it like every other case that they do. You don't want that. Every case is different, so every case needs to be presented differently. All right? And you want a lawyer who recognizes that. Like, I see it so often that asylum cases are submitted and they don't have any evidence in favor of, like, some aspect of their case. Many asylum cases just rely on a declaration, which is like a written statement from the main applicant, and then their testimony in open court. Okay? But man, if it's me, and if I'm going to court, and if I want to like really win this case, like let's brainstorm what evidence out there could help showcase my situation to better demonstrate my eligibility. For example, could we get a country conditions expert? All right, I'm fleeing from my country. Is there an expert that could explain what's going on in my country right now against people in my situation so that they can explain to the judge that what I'm saying is credible, so that they can explain to the judge that what I'm saying is really happening? Right? Experts. Or how about this? There's so much gang violence in the world right now. How about a gang expert? There are people that are like fleeing from Los Zetas or from the MS-13 or from, whatever the criminal, crazy gang that's ruling the area of your country is, right? Like, there are experts out there that know, hey, gosh, I don't even, this gang, this cartel has recently split and now has this branch and this branch, and they have a conflict over territory. I'm just saying for an example, right? And so, and those things cause violence. And if you were a person caught up in those violence, hey, let's get, some expert that could explain that to the judge. There are a lot of PhDs, there are a lot of university professors, all right, who study societal problems in various parts of the world. And some of them enjoy making maybe a slightly extra little bit of income on the side while at the same time seriously helping people, right? People want to do that. And this can be an excellent strategy to help your asylum case. All right, but it's not just that type of expert. Sometimes a psychological evaluation or a psychologist, all right? Sometimes there are torture experts who could examine, medical experts who could examine your condition in your body and say, hey, look, this is consistent with this type of crazy torture if you've gone through something crazy or this type of attack or something. All of these types of professionals can help produce extra evidence in favor of your case. Okay? Another thing, sometimes when credibility is in question, it helps to have other witnesses. Might be friends, family, neighbors, you're a pastor of a church, a professor at a local university, or a teacher at a local school, something like that, who might be able to explain what they saw happen to you in their own words, and that would bolster your story and your credibility. All of this stuff are ways of highlighting what you went through that can help your asylum case. Okay? So common problem number 4, not enough strategy about evidence. What evidence to include? You want to brainstorm. You want to think, what are the weaknesses in my case? What might the weaknesses of my case be from the judge's perspective? And what evidence could I use to make sure that the judge understands fully the situation in my country about that issue? Okay? All right, we're not breaking right through it, and then we're going to break for questions. I'm almost done. So common problem number 5 are just flat out strategic problems about the law, right? And what I want to say there is don't just file for asylum if you might also be eligible for filing for cancellation of removal or a U visa or VAWA or some other immigration benefit, right? Don't just file for asylum if you're eligible for something else. Okay? And so it's wise to apply for as many options as possible, especially since asylum is difficult to win. All right? Another thing about strategy, don't file for prosecutorial discretion and close your case if you have a strong asylum case and you're better off fighting and winning asylum. There are other strategy issues. If there's a husband and wife in the case, who is the best principal applicant? Who's the best derivative applicant? Often in a family unit, the husband might be listed as the principal when sometimes the wife is actually the stronger case. All right? So that's something, anyway, you want to talk strategy. You want a lawyer who really can understand your situation so that we present it in the strongest light possible. All right, that's all I'm going to say for now. I've talked a lot. Let me get into your questions, okay? So a couple of questions. I see one from Letitia. So Letitia, you say, if my fiance, I think it is, applied for asylum after coming to the United States legally on an F1 visa and overstayed for 20 years and is now awaiting his master calendar appointment in September of 2024, could we go ahead and get married and request to close the asylum case and file for the I-485? Okay, thank you, Letitia, thank you. So it's not stated in your question, but it sounds to me like you're a U.S. citizen. Are you a U.S. citizen, Letitia? Because if so, yes. If you're a U.S. citizen and if your fiance entered the United States lawfully, and as long as everything, there are other issues to discuss and have a complete consultation to make sure of this, but yes, you can close an asylum process and you can switch your strategy and file for a marriage-based green card. Yes, you can. Okay? Now, will your fiance lose his asylum-based work permit? He won't be able to renew it if he closes his asylum case and instead focuses on the marriage-based case, but he'll be able to get a different work permit through the marriage-based process. All right? There's things to think through, but yes, that is sometimes a wise strategy to focus on the marriage and the marriage-based green card. It can be a lot simpler, but again, Letitia, you've got to be a U.S. citizen, and I don't see that in your question. So as long as you are, then that would work. If you're a green card holder, hey, wait and become a U.S. citizen first, and then apply for his case, right? And if you are undocumented or something like that, then don't close the case and instead get married first, so you might be a derivative on his asylum case. All right? There's all kinds of things to discuss there. So, awesome. Thank you for asking that question. That was a great one. My next question that I see here comes from Godchild. Godchild, hello. All right? You say, hey, I have sent in my medical for my I-485. I have a pending case with a criminal court. What do I do? I was not convicted, and then it says, are charged with anything. Maybe you meant I was not convicted or charged with anything. So, okay, well, if you weren't convicted or charged with anything, then submit that proof. If charges got dropped, submit that proof in your case, in your I-485 green card application case, and go do your medical, and you should be fine. All right? An officer might want to ask you questions about the pending criminal matter, right? You'll want to make sure that that is cleared up, but otherwise, yeah, you can totally do this. Christopher Carbajal, hello. I see you there. Thank you so much for being here. Rashid, hello. You say interview date fast ? Fast, slow, almost nothing is really fast with immigration right now. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what your question is there, Rashid, but thank you for asking it. Thank you for being here. So, all right, are there any other questions? I'm kind of out of time, actually. I need to start doing this in Spanish. So thank you all so much. All right, thank you all so much for being here. I'm so grateful. I see folks here. By Flor de la Costa. Hello. Found you a couple of weeks ago, finding answers on YouTube. All right, hello, thank you. And Lacey Alcantara, hello. And Ching, hello. And Nayera, hello. On Instagram, hello. Everybody on YouTube, hello. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks, TikTok. Thank you all so much for being here. If you still have a question, hey, send it in. I'd love to take a look at it. I'd love to answer it. I'll upload those to our YouTube channel. The best way to see those is to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notifications bell. All right, and you can see other updates, news, things like that. Let me think. So, yeah, I hope that this was useful for everybody. If it was useful, please give us a thumbs up. Please tell the internet that it was useful content for you, because we want to share it. We want to grow what we're doing. All right? And so really, thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a great Tuesday. It's the 6th of September of 2022. Hope you have a wonderful day. And if you have an immigration case If you need help from an immigration law firm and from a really powerful immigration law team, hey, give us a call. We are here to help. We would love to help. All right? So thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks a lot. That's it for today. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of Deportation Defense Live. Thank you. Adios. Bye-bye.